Howdy, folks, and welcome to episode 115. A long time ago. We're not necessarily talking about Star Wars, although tomorrow is May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. But we are going to be talking about history. Recently, and by recently I mean earlier this afternoon, my brother has dug up some very interesting information about our great great grandfather on our father's side, our father's 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 father. Um, so we'll be talking about some of that here in a little bit. But first, I do want to mention has been brought to my attention. Excuse me. It has been brought to my attention by Joe Wiley that you can still get 10% discount off of Reloaded version 2 until the 15th of this month. And right now, you can go to the website for March to Victory, marchtovictory.net, and purchase raffle tickets, $3 a piece, for getting into the raffle tickets for this weekend's May the 4th game day, where there's going to be 3 different games played throughout the day on Saturday, and got a chance of winning lots of different things, posters, PDFs, certificates.
I'm really hoping that.
What's that? Yep, we lost you.
No, I'm just saying I'm really hoping that a bunch of those are live streamed or Jay does, battle reports on a bunch of those, because the COVID Prime Grand Prix or whatnot, the speeder race.
Oh yeah, that looks fun.
Looks super cool.
Yeah.
I have no idea what rules he's using for that, but it's got to be awesome.
Right.
And then there's like a gladiator, not even gladiator, but like Arena Royale sort of thing, where the terrain on the table is going to change each turn, because it's like a hut, battle royale thing.
Right.
And then what's the third game? Oh geez, I'm coming up empty, Chris. What's the third game?
I don't remember off the top of my brain.
All right, hang tight. I'm running to the emails.
Okay. Hexy has joined us. Hello, sir.
Hey, gents.
Jeff.
I'm a little bit groggy.
Jeffy.
Did we wake you up?
No, just wasn't feeling all that grand this evening for some reason.
Oh, I understand.
The third one is Rebel troopers running through the jungle. You gotta escape, like Predator type stuff. You gotta get to the speed up.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, unfortunately, neither McMurray or I are going to make it this year. I have a Predator engagement. Actually, today is my oldest grandson's birthday. He's 20. Holy crap, that makes me feel old. And his birthday party is this Saturday, so I have to be present for that. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make the games at Wiley HQ.
My stupid ass just has to work.
Yeah, well, to each their own.
Because of
right?
course, if it's not a convention where I blow a full week's worth of vacation, then there's no way on earth I'm going to manage to have it fall on my weekends off. But that's all right. I got Wiley War Games weekend and March to Victory in. I think I need to double check the dates on Battles and Brews, but I'm hoping that it's a 50-50 shot. I figure if May the 4th isn't on it, hopefully Battles and Brews will fall on it, because Battles and Brews is always a great time.
Oh yeah, it is a blast. But I just wanted to point out that 10% off on Reloaded
Bro, go buy
Uh,
raffle tickets. Win cool stuff.
in raffle tickets. Yeah, and the cool stuff including up, hardback Galactic Heroes and both the Galactic Heroes and Starfighters card set, which this is not purchasable anymore.
Oh,
This is not
shit.
purchasable. Oh, and he'll sign it for you.
Wait. Oh, that's pretty awesome. Oh, dude, I should get just my whole stack of Wiley books and have him sign them and just have them tied up for like 10, 15
Right, because you
minutes.
have all of them.
Oh, and I got a couple copies of some of them because,
Right.
well, first off, I tend to misplace them / loan them out and then realize, wait a minute, I need a copy of that.
Yeah, and then find them.
Also, because like when people get real jazzed up or I find like a new player, sometimes just handing them a rule book is enough to A, get them playing, and B, get them into looking into their
Looking at the other versions and buying into it.
yeah, and getting, okay, well, maybe I'll grab some cards.
Yeah.
I did that with Core a few times, where, okay, so you're a 40K player. Here's the Core book. If you want to get into stuff that, really gears you towards 40K. At the time, it was Galactic Heroes. Now, obviously, there's Grimdark as well.
Right.
But, yeah, it is. It's a good gateway into the hobby, especially with the Core book, because the Core book is cheap. You can do anything with it.
Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and touch on some of the messages there. Minnie Warmut says, hi. Hey, buddy. I hope everything's going well, buddy. Much love out to you for reasons. Reese says he'll watch a little bit of the first part, have a good show. Yeah, he's not going to join us tonight. He's got some other stuff going on, and that's cool. That's okay. Charles says evening. Hi, Charles. Richard Keenan says hello, everyone. Can't believe it's Wednesday again already. Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened to April. I mean, wasn't it just like a weekend or two ago that we had March to Victory?
It certainly seems like it, but time flies when you're having fun,
Dude, April just flew by. Meandering Mike says greetings to everyone. Philomica says beep beep bipeds wave. Chris Long says hello. It's very cool what Jay found out. Yes, it is. Meandering Mike says rifle. I bought a couple. Outstanding. Walkabout Games, did I hear that the Baron has put up added cards for the deck for Reloaded? Right. So what the deal is with that is if you already have the original Reloaded deck, the Queen of Spades, the Queen of Hearts, the sevens, and the twos are different in the original deck than what is in currently in version 2 Reloaded and the rest of the cards. So if you already have them, if you already have the original deck, he's giving you the opportunity to buy just the 10 cards you need to update. So that's cool. I mean, I can't
super dumb cheap too.
Yeah, it's less than, I think it's less than $3 or $4. So buy version 2, buy the version 2 book and the update cards. Boom, there you go, and you're going to get 10% off on them until the 15th. Chris Long says, "Hello, Jeff."
Now I kind of want to mess with people and get a whole and just buy the upgrade set.
Yeah,
Chris and I are on a first name basis now. Get that straight, all right?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Fry. My bad.
Yeah. I mean, Mike says the hexagonal man has arrived. Hiya, Jeff.
Dude, I'm getting a lot of pop from people on this Napoleon thing. A lot.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
That's a good thing.
And I've only played a half a turn.
There you go.
Kevin's lock and load Napoleonics, dog. Like
I got the developer, he's messaging me and helping me out a little bit.
There you go.
You run into some big words you aren't familiar with?
But yeah, big words like the and
It's square.
square. Square's a really big one. I got to learn how to say SKWAIR.
Yeah, nice.
Keith,
Risa's work, that awful thing we do to pay for our minis. Yeah, it sucks.
I get mine for free from Andrew and Todd.
yeah,
There
what
you
the hell?
go.
Like, that just occurred to me. Like, how
Okay,
much
so-
have you actually, like, bought?
Since y'all are like in miniature world right now, I'm gonna say something here, and you guys can either berate me or talk me against it. So I am getting rid of my 3D printer, the resin one.
What the
Fair
shit?
enough.
Why?
I'm not gonna fucking use it. I don't want it. I don't like the head. It's wonderful. Don't get me wrong. The ones I printed with were marvelous. Okay, but I just don't see me doing miniature printing. Not like you guys do. So I'm gonna go ahead and sell it to one of the girls that used to work for me or work with me. She's
Oh, you
upstairs.
asshole. I was about to say,
I'm
you
gonna
have
her.
my address.
For $300. Give her that, and I'm gonna give her the curing station. I think, but I think I'm gonna buy me a filament one.
Cool.
All right. So you can print, like, organizers?
Yeah, exactly. Because I figured that's the kind of stuff I will do.
That's exactly right up your alley.
Yeah.
That's right up your alley.
I'm about to say, I know that there's a lot of different, like, that's a whole cottage industry within 3D printing, is printing, like, box organizers for stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I think at the current time, it mainly focuses, like, when you buy stuff specific for a game, on Euro games, but
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Ardwolf and Nerd and a couple other guys have done some really, really good inserts for a lot of the Hex and Counter games.
Yeah.
So, of course, I think they're selling them, but I'm not gonna. I'll create my own.
Yeah. I mean, we're not going to be too far removed from hex to hex game storage systems as a side hustle. for
My
them.
question is am I going to spend a bigger fortune on an FDM or a filament printer than I am on a Resin 3D?
No.
Even with
No,
a bigger
I mean, it
deck?
depends on what you're getting.
Well, I don't know yet. I need something. I guess I got to have something with a decent sized deck on it, right?
So probably, well, I mean, you can get a 12 by 12 now for about $350.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm about to say, just like anything, there's entry level stuff, and it goes up from there.
Yeah.
You know,
Speaking
like
of
when you got-
which, go ahead.
no, I'm just saying, like, your resin 3D printer that you got, Jeff, is verging on the high end of entry level. Like, that's a nice 3D
Yeah, it is.
printer.
Right.
It's got a big build plate on it, like, not a huge build plate, but it's got a
for
large build.
miniatures. Yeah, for miniatures it does.
Yeah, and it's not like a schlub printer. You know, it's not like there's guys use Elegoo machines to prototype masters.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not a shitty machine.
Good.
So the one I was talking about is the Elegoo Neptune 3 Pro. And it's got a 12 by 12, 12 and a half by 12 and a half build plate.
I thought it
it's
was like 470, isn't it?
No, that's the max, and that's $470. That's 420. It's 16 and a half by 16 and a half.
I was about to say that's a
Absolutely
big build
gargantuan.
plate.
Yeah, it's it's gargantuan. And the reason I know all of this right now is because my big FDM printer had an unscheduled
Fire.
thermal event. We call them thermal events in the business. It caught fire. So the hot end itself melted. Literally, it is a piece of slag right now. All of the plastic on all the plastic that was part of the extruder has completely melted. I have two small metal shafts that were once fans because they were plastic also. And luckily, I had the hood on it. Hey, take care, buddy. Reese, be well.
Bye, Reese.
Say hi to the turkeys. Gobble gobble.
Me and the wife and stuff.
Luckily, I did have the hood on top. Otherwise, it could have been very, very bad, as in house go foof bad. So, the hood helped contain it. I don't know what caused it. I sent an email or a support ticket to Raise 3D, and it's such an old machine that they're really not concerned about it. In the fact that it's gonna that they're not doing updates to these machines anymore because they're not selling them. They're not even building them.
I was about to say, on the bright side, Jesus Christ, you got good service out of that thing. I was looking at that. You said you got that 6 years ago?
Yeah, we bought it used from Tim.
Yeah, my point is, like, that machine is, honest to God, probably as old, if not older, than Elegoo. Because I'm pretty sure Tim has had that machine for a few years before you guys got it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like, so I want to say that was one of Tim's original, if not like first round of machines that he got. That was one of the very first, because he still has the other one.
Yeah.
And yeah, because I don't remember who it was. Somebody mentioned something about it, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to look that up. How long? And yeah, Elegoo was started in 2015, and you guys bought that machine in 17. Like,
yeah, somewhere around in there.
It just it made me giggle. It was one of those, damn man, that silly thing ran for a while.
It did. It has pumped out quite the array of scenery for us. Mike, I'm not aware of on a resin printer, because there's really nothing on a resin printer that could damage the house, any more than, say, a computer could. So, but
don't get sunburned, Mike.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. I've definitely cooked off many, many, many models without the hood on it, and I haven't got sunburned, and I'm got the complexion of Elmer's glue. I think you'd be fine.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I am in the process of looking for a replacement. I'm up in the air as to whether I need a 12-inch build platform or not.
It seems like 12 is kind of like the industry accepted like minimum at this point in time. You know what I mean?
Well, most your entry level are right around 8 inches.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh dang. Okay, never mind.
Your entry level are 8. Your mid range, you can get a good mid range for 12, and then we're now seeing 16s being, within the realm of, normal people buying them at $470.
I'm going to say, what's the build plate on that one that you had?
A 12 by 12.
Okay.
So, Charles says, yes, Jeff, I'm here. I'm retired and broke. Where else would I be? Got to keep you guys more or less honest.
Maybe you had more or less in there.
Yeah. My computer, Mike says, my computer has never had a thermal event. Well, you do know. I've actually had to send a 15-inch MacBook Pro to Apple's engineering team because it had an uncontrolled thermal event, uncontrolled thermal event. And it was, at the time, it was a 5-year-old MacBook Pro, and they sent the customer a brand new one.
I was about to say, what happens if Ray's just like says, you know what? You've had this machine for a long time. Good job. Keep using it. We're going to send you another one.
They said they won't.
Oh, they did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
it makes, on the flip side of that, it's okay. You've obviously gotten sterling service out of this thing for a long time. Like,
Yeah.
it's not indestructible. I can see it. That's fair.
But the fact that Apple, sent the customer a brand new 15-inch MacBook Pro when the one that caught on fire was 5 years old, that's pretty stellar. I know Chris Long says I now have 5 FDM and 6 resin printers. Yeah, but you got a 3D. You got a 3D printing business going there, so that's understandable.
I'm about to say, Chris, post a link to your you and your son's printing business in the comments, man.
Yeah, and then PCs don't have built-in batteries. Well, laptops do.
Mine doesn't.
What do you mean yours does? How does your laptop not have a battery?
It just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, it still has a battery. Steve's in the house. Hey, Steve, how you doing, buddy?
Mr. Steve, buddy, are you going to be at March of Victory, Steve?
You mean May the 4th?
That's the one. May the 4th. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Don't say it.
It's tomorrow, Jeff. May the 4th be with you. Jesus, I didn't expect you to have that kind of an event on it.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
And of course, what Friday is.
Cinco de Mayo?
Well, besides Cinco de Mayo, it's Revenge of the 5th.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Revenge of the 6th after Cinco de Mayo.
Well, there's that. You can go either way.
Because that'll really get you, man.
What were we doing tonight? I forgot. You said something to me earlier. I can't remember what it was.
We're going to be the main topic tonight. Once we get to it, is going to be
Jeffrey, and why we love
our personal connection to history and how it affects our choices in gaming.
Jeff was alive for most of it, so that probably counts.
Right.
Last Friday
exactly.
Night, my history. I'm telling you that right now.
So what brought this up is that we knew, and by we, my brother, my dad, and I, and one of our cousins, we knew that we had a great grandfather that served as a surgeon, an assistant surgeon, with one of the colored volunteer infantry companies during the Civil War. Well, my brother started doing some digging and found out that he actually mustered into the 15th Iowa Infantry Regiment at 25 years of age on February 24th, 1862 in Keokuk, Iowa, which is like an hour and a half, 2 hours from
that's pretty damn close to you guys.
Yeah, it's where Jay and I live, 2 hours from there. So we found out that there's at least 5 Arnolds that joined the 15th Iowa Infantry Regiment in late 1862, early 1863.
Nice. I know one more Arnold, though.
Who's that?
Hey, Arnold.
The one on Green Acres.
Hey, the pig? Yeah. But he, like I said, he joined in February 24, 1862, but he was discharged on November 14th, 1863 at Vicksburg after the Battle of Vicksburg. So he could accept a promotion to assistant surgeon for the 1st Mississippi Colored Volunteer Infantry, which turned into 51st Colored Volunteer Infantry. So yeah, we're starting to pull some, starting to pull stuff together. There was actually a Joseph Arnold, which is
Master J.
well, it's also Jay's name.
It's not.
He came in October 29th of 1861. Enlisted October 29th of 1861, mustered in December 1st of 1861. Re-enlisted and remustered on December 6th, 1863, and mustered out in 1865 in Louisville.
Right.
Now, my namesake, James Arnold, he was 18, lived in Keokuk, born in Ohio, enlisted on August 30th of 1862, and mustered same day. Missing in skirmish March 12th, 1865 in Fayetteville, South Carolina, with no further record.
Can you imagine walking from fucking Iowa to South Carolina?
Oh yeah, that's the thing. I mean, there was probably some there could have been some train movement.
There absolutely could have been.
Much, but not much.
I was about to say, it's also entirely possible that if it wasn't a priority, it's just one of those, all right, guys, walk south to Missouri and then turn left.
Yeah. Yeah, when you get to St. Louis, turn left at the barges.
Yeah.
So we found out that he served in both Shiloh and Vicksburg, at the Battle of Shiloh and Vicksburg, and may or may not have been my original statement earlier today that he was at Hornets Nest may or may not be accurate. However, it turns out that a lot of these guys had never, when they went into the Battle of Shiloh, they had never loaded their rifles prior to being there.
Oh, yeah, I've read stories about that.
Yeah,
they're unloaded. They were rushed. In fact, I remember reading a story. Was it somebody in Peabody's apprentice? Someone in the 6th that they were getting ready to push out once they realized what was going on. And I don't know if it was one of the soldiers or something saying, "Should we load? Should we load? Should we load?" And I guess whatever officer it was telling them to pretty much shut the fuck up. We're moving,
Yeah. Yeah. So, meandering Mike, turning left at St. Louis does put you across the river, basically at Cahokia.
I'll be right back.
All right. So, what getting this information for me is it's pulling me more into wanting to.
Sure.
To play more of the Civil War, getting to know more about the Civil War. I think what the final hook is going to be is when, hopefully later sometime this year, I head over to Fort Donelson and hang out with my buddy. My buddy Gordon, who lives in right around Paducah, Kentucky. And actually Murray, Kentucky, but we're wanting to go over there so Donna can visit the National Quilting Museum in Paducah, and then we can also go over to Camp Donelson. But actually walking on a preserved battlefield.
Right. You need to get your hands on. You need to get your hands on the game Across 5 Aprils.
Yeah, it's what's been said several times.
You can find them for under $30, where people use them. It's that. Yeah. Okay, because you're trying to tackle a game that's on your table that's not necessarily designed for inter-level type play.
Oh, I absolutely agree.
That's one of those games where you need to shut off your surroundings when you're trying to play it or learn it, and not hear anything or talk with anyone unless it's somebody who's helping you learn it. And I can't really help you learn that because I haven't played it myself yet.
Right. Well, again, the plan was to tackle it this week, but I had my printer eat itself.
Yeah, I saw nice pictures, by the way.
What's that?
I said, nice picture. I thought it was the melted space astronaut picture that I've seen everywhere on Facebook.
Yeah. No, I got my own private space astronaut that's been melted. Let's see here. Noble Knight actually has for $50.
Yeah. Is that new unpunched and shrink or new and unpunched?
Let me find out. Geek Market has it for $45 in good condition.
I mean, that's not an evil price because you get 5 battles in there.
Yeah. So the $50 is in very good to excellent condition.
Okay. Yeah, that would be worth it. I mean, it's a game that you could learn to play easily.
Yeah. Yeah. If I wanted it unpunched, I could get it for $75. If I wanted it brand new, $85. So, Meandering Mike says that it's gone up in price this last year.
Yeah, well, it's because a lot of people, I know we put it out there a lot.
Well, but also it's Gettysburg was 1863 or 1864?
3.
Okay, so we're coming up to like what
160th.
Yeah, 160th anniversary. Yeah,
Chancellorsville's going hog wild right now. I've been watching while I'm at work. Well, not watching, listening to the Addressing Gettysburg podcasts.
Yeah,
they're really, really good. If you just want something to have in your ear while you're working,
right?
And they get a lot of the good tour guides on there. One of their best ones is called Ask a Tour Guide, Ask a Licensed Tour Guide, or something like that. I've been listening to a bunch of those, and they do a first, second, and third day coverage. They do it pretty much every year.
Yeah.
Plus, in July, I'm going to be up there.
Very cool.
With the Great Battles guys and the Great Campaigns guys.
Nice. Welcome back.
So Chris has his glasses off. Everything all right?
Yeah, I'm cleaning them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but so I think a lot of my not getting into the Civil War much is because where I grew up, to be honest.
Texas?
Yeah.
Or Kansas City?
Both. Because unfortunately, Missouri schools do not do a very good job of looking at local history, because there's a shit ton of local history in the Kansas City area when it comes to the Civil War.
I gotta say, my hometown school did a half decent job at it, but
I didn't know anything about what happened in the Civil War.
It might be a bit of a point of pride in St. Louis too, though. So there's that.
Well, I mean, but look at, everybody talked about the border war, and they were always, anytime they talked about the border war in Kansas City, it was always because it was KU versus MU.
That's fair. That's also, it's a little, I don't know, at least in St. Louis, for the most part, once you get past the Camp Jackson affair, you've got a ridiculously staunchly Union city that then ships guys across the whole fucking country.
Right. Because was it Fort Jefferson, Camp Jefferson?
Camp Jackson?
Was it Jackson? I thought it was Jefferson. Jefferson Barracks. That's it. Jefferson Barracks.
The Camp Jackson affair was very early on in the war, where Franz Sigel and company seized what was a Confederate mustering ground, which was at that point in time outside of the city of St. Louis. and then marched them through the city to be paroled at the arsenal downtown. But there was a bit of a riot, and people were yelling all kinds of German stuff. Somebody smoked Siegel in the head, and then it almost became an outright running battle. But that's okay. Anyways,
I'm gonna tell you what. Okay. So, American Battlefield Trust they're doing Chancellorsville right now because it's May 3rd. All right.
Yep.
I guarantee you, between tomorrow and July 1st, you're going to see all the YouTube videos coming out and documentary stuff about all the movement action between Chancellorsville and Gettysburg.
Yeah.
Probably see a ton of that stuff.
Well, not only that, but Gary Edelman has a huge boner for Gettysburg.
Oh, yeah.
So where is Chancellorsville?
Virginia. Wilderness. Chancellorsville, the woods touch the wilderness battlefield area. But to the northwest of Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Okay. So it's not too horribly far away from Gettysburg.
No. Let's see, from where I live right now, it's about maybe just a little over an hour, just like Gettysburg is just a little over an hour from me.
All right.
Granted, that's driving the Jeffy Mobile, not hiking down the Hagerstown Pike. But yeah. I don't know if that's actually connected by the Hagerstown Pike, but you get my point.
Yep. Hagerstown Pike's just up the street from me.
There you
go. So, excuse me. Yeah, so, this information that we're getting is pulling directly on my decision to look even deeper into Civil War gaming. My brother commented on the Facebook thing that I put out, like, do we need to get out our 6mm ACW stuff?
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, probably.
How much? 2 mil. We could just have like ACW May.
There you go.
Hey, Tim.
So yeah, definitely looking to know more about it. I need to, and again, I attempted to watch it previously, but I think I need to go back to it and watch Ken Burns' Civil War. The 10 episode series that he did for PBS.
Uh-huh.
Apparently Jay watches it like once a year. At
least. Football parents bought me that whole collection one year.
I'm going to say I remember seeing it as a kid and it was outstanding.
Oh yeah, it's I know it's good stuff. It's I'm just, whenever I had watched it, when I sat down to watch it, it didn't.
Well,
it didn't grab me.
They only give you it depends on what you want to see. Do you want to see the broad outline of the Civil War and not the details of the fighting?
Yeah. So I think what that show will do for me is give me something. Give me the skeleton. Give me the framework.
I'll tell you what does it for me, and of course it's easy considering where I live, is putting my feet on a battlefield somewhere.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. I think what will really, really drive the hook in is to hit the battlefield at like Camp Battle or Fort Donelson. I think that's the closest actual battlefield to me here. It's about a 4.5 hour drive. Now I know there are battlefields all over around Kansas City, but they're not preserved.
Right.
Now I do know that there's one down in down in Springfield, Missouri, just south of
Wilson's
Springfield,
Creek.
Wilson Creek. My understanding is that one is at least partially preserved, if not,
Pretty well, yeah.
pretty good. So that may be another one that I want to travel down to visit, and probably what I would do with that is I'd get a hold of Reese and Brad McMurray, and the three of us get together down there and walk it for a day.
That'd be
I
pretty
think that'd be
slick.
cool. And maybe we need to do that sometime this summer when you've got the weekend off.
That'd be awesome.
So, so yeah, it'll be. I'm getting more intrigued by the Civil War. The more time I spend with you, Jeff, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. It's absolutely a cool thing. The more time I spend with you and McMurray and y'all talking about it, and then of course my brother. My brother is a huge Civil War. I don't want to call it a fan because it gives the wrong connotation, but an individual that
Enthusiast.
there you go. Yeah, he's a big Civil War enthusiast and has studied it, has been to Gettysburg and has been to Fort Donelson many times when he was with the OCS. So yeah,
that was what my family did growing up. As like our family trips, we never went anywhere real fancy. We just drove around the Midwest, and then we went all the way out to Virginia one year, but we just went to Civil War battlefields. It was pretty cool. So like all through Tennessee and Kentucky, we did hit, obviously Wilson's Creek and whatnot. But yeah, made for an interesting childhood.
And I think I want to. I think I want to go back to Jefferson Barracks again.
Dog JB's super cool.
It's I enjoyed the time that Jay and Joey and I went down.
It is a cool park, and the curator of the museum at the St. Louis County Park there is an avid wargamer. Tom Hoff, if you're watching this, put on more games. They had a little. He had put on a little one-day con a few years back in April, right before COVID, and it was super cool. He's got a ridiculously impressive black powder collection and all kinds of stuff. He's a good dude. I need a game with Tom more.
So, yeah, I'm once I get my I figure out my 3D printer situation, I might have to look into getting a copy of Across 5 Aprils.
Right.
That's a good game. Again, Pat Crowley, if you're watching, let's get that copy of Across 5 Aprils to Chris here. Another local guy here.
Because I definitely want to get it because it's got Shiloh.
It does.
That's
so boom. There you go. That has my direct tie-in to the family there. And in fact, I was going to ask, if I was going to look to a game for Shiloh or Vicksburg, what board game would I look at? And obviously Across 5 Aprils, but what about Vicksburg? I mean, what
new one
is there a game?
Hill of Death, the new one from Herman Luttman, his small, very light system.
Is that GCACW or GBCAW?
No, Herman Luttman. It's his. Oh shit! Remember the Most Fearful Sacrifice that I have, the big Gettysburg one that he gave me the demo.
Yeah.
And then that's the big system. Then he's got the second one. That's Black Swan. Then he's got the one with all the games like Long Street Attacks and all that, the middle tier games. Yeah. And then the Hill of Death is his first one in the series called Come on, guys, help me out there. Union Sword.
Shattered Union.
Yeah, Shattered Union. And that's a very lightweight game on Vicksburg. Champions Hill. So you think about it, there really was no. Vicksburg was sieged.
I'm about to say it's a campaign. Like it's not.
Yeah.
You're going to run into trouble trying to find a just Battle of Vicksburg thing because it's a bit of a misnomer.
Right. But he wasn't at the Battle of Vicksburg. He was at Vicksburg.
I think.
Isn't
there a Decision Games folio game about Vicksburg, Jeff?
Yeah. Well. Yeah. There. Oh, yeah. Did I send you that one? Is that one I sent you?
No.
Then I got one.
Let's take a look. Decision Games.
I think there's a folio series, Gettysburg. It's not a mini folio, but I think there's a folio series, Gettysburg or Vicksburg.
And I've got one called Mississippi Fortress, which is an area movement game from Clash of Arms that I haven't played yet. There's like 5 or 6 in that series.
Let's see. A full-size folio game, you said?
I believe so.
I think he's got it right. I think it's called Vicksburg the Campaign or the Vicksburg Campaign. I got it here somewhere. If I didn't send it to you, McMurray, then I got it. It's just a lightweight hex encounter game.
Or at least I think there is. I'm not 100%.
No, there is. Because when you said it, I knew right away.
Okay.
That
would be a cool kind of mid-range, not too nutty jump into Vicksburg. Because that has the potential to be a really kind of massive undertaking. But it doesn't necessarily have to be, you know what I mean?
Here's Chickamauga, River of Death.
Yeah.
That's the
Stones River, Turning Point in Tennessee.
Where are you seeing all these games?
Decision Games.
Yeah.
Shiloh, Grant Surprised. There's another Shiloh game, $24.95.
Yeah.
Is that a folio?
Yeah.
Don't you spend $25 on a folio game?
What's that?
Don't spend $25 on one of those little folio games.
It's not a mini folio game. It's one of the full size games.
Oh, it's one of the. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
But that being said, if you want to get, I think isn't that Shiloh game in one of the Blue and the Grays, Jeff?
Yeah, it's in part of Blue and Gray 1, I think, wasn't it?
I don't know. Mine's sitting upstairs. And I'm in the basement putting together MDF stuff. But yeah, Chris, that might be something worth looking into as well. As Blue and Gray 1 and 2 is a Civil War multi-pack from Decision that's got. The first one has 5 in it because it's got first and second Bull Run. But it averages 4. They're designed to have 4 games apiece in them.
Yeah, that's part of their quads system games.
But it's drastically cheaper than paying $25 a piece. I think you usually pay like $40 or so.
So they've got a mini folio for Hornet's Nest.
That'd be pretty cool, to be honest. That'd probably be pretty slick. They got a mini folio for Wilson's Creek also.
Well, Chris, and I say this about these games because I don't really think you're going to get the full impression of a hex encounter game until you get one on the table that you can smoke through.
Right. Oh, I'm right there with you. There's Shiloh.
Shit, I thought there was one for Vicksburg. There might not be.
Let me dig it up. I got it right here.
It's not Decision Games if it is.
Okay.
Charles says Shiloh Worthington's version is good.
Jeff is sending me Worthington Shiloh, aren't you, Jeff?
No, what did I send you?
That's the one that I thought we were trading that for 7 days.
No, I'm sending you Fallschirm Jaeger.
What?
Fallschirm Jaeger.
The what? You're sending Fallschirm Jaeger?
It's already gone. It's already out there. Todd should probably have it already. Fallschirm Jaeger.
Bro, do I have to drive to Todd's house right now?
Sending him Overlord. And I sent it. Oh, I'm sending you that Avalon Hill Bull Run.
Oh, yeah. That's supposed to be complicated, isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so it'll take you 2 days to get it played instead of just 1.
Yeah, Chuck goes, no, I don't think so. It's not quite terrible, so sword. From War Between the States.
There you go, Chris. You can. Damn, they've actually got Chancellorsville too. Well, there's no picture. It's a picture of the map you can see. But here's a Vicksburg game. It's called Vicksburg: The Assault on the Stockade Redan.
May 1863 from 2021.
Yeah, that's one. But that's not the one I had.
Yeah, by S&T.
That's a magazine. That's not the one I had.
Strategery and Tactics.
Yep. Got the Grognard in the house.
Devin, what's up, buddy?
How you doing, Devin?
I played a bunch of Bloody Mohawks. Devin, outstanding. Or Bloody Mohawk. That's a fast play system, man.
So yeah, it's definitely looking at now looking at miniatures. The only real game that I know of Civil War wise is what is it? Damn it! Well, there's Johnny Reb.
I got that box sitting right over here. Yeah.
And what's that other one?
Johnny Reb's good. Longstreet is good. Pickett's Charge is good. Longstreet, I believe, is from Honor Games with Sim Mustafa. Pickett's Charge is a Too Fat Lardy's production. Altar of Freedom is put out by the guys at
there you go, Chris.
Little Wars TV.
Facebook.
You're probably thinking of Fire and Fury, Chris.
That's it. Fire and Fury, yes.
Very fun game. Big fan of Fire and Fury. I played a lot of Regimental.
Is that the bigger scoped one? Regimental?
No, Brigade is bigger.
Okay.
The system is very, very similar in both of them. But yeah, you have Brigade and then Regimental Fire and Fury.
Yeah, because there's I don't remember how long. I was still living in Austin, so this was before 2014. We played Wilson's Creek.
Yes.
On an 8 by 12 table. Absolutely massive table. And
yeah, I had a bunch of guys try and play Gettysburg with fire, like full Gettysburg with Fire and Fury, and it was a little brutal.
Chris, I sent you a link in Facebook.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, the Road to Vicksburg, the Battle of Champion Hill.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one. I have it around here. If I didn't send it to McMurray, I've got it around here somewhere.
Cool. But yeah, it's people ask, why I'm so wrapped up in World War II naval. I don't have a personal connection. I do not have a personal familial connection to World War II naval combat. I just like it. I think, I think, like Jeff said, if I can get one of these, non-monster games onto the table and blaze through it, wrap my brain around it pretty easily, especially if it's one that I've got, a connection to, like, Across Five of April is playing Shiloh, or, getting a copy of The Road to Vicksburg, Battle of Champion Hill, and playing it where I've got a familial connection. It might just drag me down that rabbit hole.
Oh, I'm sure.
And because that's what's happened with, Cold War, Dad being in the 49th Armored Division in the 70s and 80s. And then in the late 80s, 36th Infantry Communications Unit, which when I joined originally, I was originally in 135th Signal Battalion with him, and then transferred to Texas to be in the 136th Signal out of
And
San
that's
Antonio.
That's an Oklahoma unit.
No, it's no, that would be Texas Guard out of San Antonio.
I know, I'm giving you trouble.
If it was Oklahoma, it would have been the 145th Signal.
Oh, you're good. Everybody here knows the 36th.
Oh yeah. Well, see, the thing is it wasn't the 36th at the time; it was still the 49th. But this particular signal battalion was still the 136th, attached to state headquarters, which I thought was interesting. Anyway, but so that's how I get my tie to really digging my claws into Cold War stuff, like World War 85.
Deb, what the hell is BM?
Bowel
Battalion.
movement.
Huh?
Are you saying Bravo November or Bravo Mike?
What are you talking about?
Deb, he said, and did you enjoy BM?
Bloody Mohawk.
Oh, he's talking to you, Andrew. Okay, I was wondering what he's talking about. Yeah.
I want to say it's either Bloody Mohawk or he's talking about that dump we took earlier, in which case, whatever, it's all right. Nothing wrong with it.
Good Lord.
But yes, Bloody Mohawk was quite fun. I haven't played through every one of the scenarios. I think I've gotten through 6 of them now. That seems like a system that would be really easily adaptable to a number of other conflicts, Devin.
So what's Bloody Mohawk about?
French and Indian War.
Okay.
It's a game Bill Molyneux did for Lock and Load.
Hey, Warbutt, thanks for dropping in, buddy. Take care of yourself. If you need anything, reach out to us. We're here for you. But so what scale is it? Is it tactical? Is it
it kind of
company
varies.
sized?
It's built to be abstractable from little raids to the full blown battle of Plains Abraham.
Okay.
Chris, play that tank on tank game. The West Front one.
Oh yeah, I'm taking it with me this weekend. I'm gonna see if my boy wants to sit down with me and play it.
From Lock and Load?
Yeah.
I was just looking at tank on tank West Front.
Yep, that's what I got. I got it. What the hell is it?
That's a lightweight game with some detail.
Yeah, right here. I'm taking it with me this weekend. It's got a total of the rule book has a total of 10 pages.
Yeah, dude, you got it.
One sheet of counters that I have not yet punched. And they are huge counters also.
Uh-huh. No stacking in that game, so that makes it even easier.
Yeah. So
there you go, McMurray.
Yeah. What's that?
Deb.
Oh. Yeah, Savage Wilderness is I was looking at it and it looked like I do want to grab the 3 1812 games that he did using that same system. But it looked like one of the 2 French and Indian War games that he did was easy to find and had everything from the other 2 in it. And then the other one was super hard to find but didn't have any repeats. So, I don't know. I'm sure it'll wind up. Yeah. It's a good quick system to play. I feel like it'd be really good to introduce people with that, or it is also a prime candidate for like miniature conversion.
Scholar Grillman says, I think the lack of attachment to history might be why I prefer sci-fi. I mean, my roots in America go all the way back to the early 70s.
What do you mean, Scholar Grillman? It's like your forebears just kind of hopped out of the ground like, dwarves in Lord of the Rings.
You never
There's
know.
got to be history somewhere.
My tree goes back to John Quincy Adams. One of my aunts that had money decided to do that trace. I don't know much other than that, but
Yeah.
I never read the stuff. Or it's funny because it's weird because looks like when people meet me and they realize I like the Civil War, the first words out of 90% of them's mouth is, "Oh, are you a reenactor?" I hate that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't mind when I walk through Gettysburg in July and they've got the little camp set up inside town. Like I'm going to the McDonald's and I walk through one of their little demo camps. That's cool. I don't want to go up and see cannons firing. I don't want to see, guys in a line shooting muskets in here. I think this is the reason why. It's probably not because I wouldn't like it. It's because I don't want to see 25 guys dressed in Civil War uniform doing a fire from a line. I want to see 580 guys standing in a line like a real regiment shooting, that's
Right.
I don't want to hear the sounds, to be honest with you. I don't want to listen to all the loud bangs and booms. So
You had plenty of that yourself during the Cold War.
Everyone in
I
your
like to go
apartment building has to listen to your loud bangs and booms.
I like to go up and look at the battlefield and stand in a position and then look in the direction of, what they were facing or where they were going and just I mean, come on, man. Like I say, if you ever get there, if you guys ever get out here, we go to Gettysburg, I can take you to 100 points on that battlefield and say, look in that direction. It was 100-degree heat, and these guys moved all night long and then went into an attack, and they went 1,000 yards that direction, and you're just going to shake your head saying, Jesus Christ.
I just want to stand in the peach orchard, Jeff.
We'll take you there. They got a road or parks right beside it.
No, I'm just kidding. I've been there. I've been to Gettysburg. It was fucking awesome.
I have not.
It is a super duper cool place.
Yeah, it's I as much as I adore history, and I love history. I have not partaken in much of the history that's around us, unfortunately. Skelegrams,
You know what?
oh yeah.
What bugs me about that, Chris, is you've got a wife that would probably enjoy doing that shit with you, and you're not doing it.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna start changing that. We are. Says my parents Skelegram says my parents immigrated from the village of Mora in Dalarna, Sweden. We didn't live in the same area. We lived in the same house for 362 years when the family moved to Mora from Uppsala.
Does this make you feel better, Scala?
Sweden fights on. Is that from the 30 Years' War?
Yeah.
Oh,
I am surprised I knew that. I'm going to be honest. I'm surprised.
my family's continuously occupied this residence for 100 years. I'm working on it, Scala. Working on it, my man.
So it's so yeah, the ended of like Skelegremlin with sci-fi. A lot of that has to do with my time with my dad. He loved reading science fiction when I was growing up.
Only sci-fi book that I ever read that I can remember, because I've never read a whole lot of books. Troopers.
Starship Troopers.
If you're going to read a sci-fi book, that's a sci-fi book to read.
A great
Yeah,
book.
it is. What is my wife printing? Oh, my wife is printing Star Wars coloring pages for her class tomorrow.
It's because Donna's awesome.
Yes, she is. See? We got Ahsoka.
Sweet.
We got Anakin.
I gotta tell you what happened today. So I had to have the last free service I get from Toyota on my truck today, and I dropped it off. It's 7:00. I was there when the door opened, so I could drop my truck off. And when I came back at almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon, they hadn't done my truck yet. I was pissed. They
What?
started on it.
Who?
So I walked in to the where you pay the lady for your service that was done because I had to pay for the inspection that's no longer free. And it's one of my granddaughters is now working there.
Oof. Did she recognize you?
Yeah, I recognized her, but I didn't say nothing. And she looks up and she goes, You don't know me? I said, Jazzy, I don't see you girls anymore. So I don't want to say which one you are because there's 3 of them, right? But I knew it was her. When the minute she opened her mouth, I knew it was her, which one it was. So, but she looked really good. She looked like she was happy, and it was kind of nice to see her.
That's good.
Buddy.
Starship Troopers actually gave me an appreciation that maybe cruel and unusual punishment might actually be not that. It's funny though because it almost got ruined for me because I had the game, I read the book, and like I said, I can count the number of books I read in my lifetime on 2 hands. And the movie Starship Troopers, other than it was fun to watch, almost ruined it for me.
Oh, it's like the new All Quiet on the Western Front. It's a good movie, just not Starship Troopers.
Yeah,
it's a good movie. It's just not All Quiet on the Western Front.
No, give me the old black and white German one.
That was good. Honestly, the one from the 70s with Ernest Borgnine in it is really good. Also,
I had a hard time with watching John Boy in that one.
It's I don't know. It's a good movie, and it actually sticks to the story of It's All Quiet on the Western Front, which I don't know. It's obvious. Obviously, it's All Quiet on the Western Front is not a direct, translation of Eric Remarque's service because he lived to write the book and Paul didn't. But it's really heavily influenced by it, and it seems like you lose some of that ridiculously human element,
right,
when you don't follow along as well. Which again, and they did a good job in the Netflix movie of trying to introduce that human element, but they tried doing it, it seemed like, instead of through the experiences that you see, just through visual effects, which I understand. It's 21st century cinema, but
well, you mentioned Wilson's Creek earlier, and somebody's playing Great Battles of the American Civil War, Wilson's Creek, on Facebook.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Wilson's Creek's awesome. It's a cool engagement.
Yeah, like I said, that's another one I need to go to and check out.
It's not entirely preserved. Like even Gettysburg isn't entirely preserved,
right?
But it's pretty well done. It's a good park down there.
Well, the 2 battlefields that I can say I have memory of actually being on. One of them is in downtown San Antonio.
Oh, wait. I don't remember what that one is. Jeff, do you remember that one? I don't really remember that one.
The battle
the Malama. The Malama. Yeah, the Malama.
Of Dirty Wash.
Right. Yeah.
Nice. And then the other one, it's they're going to be doing a lot more preservation to it. I shouldn't say preservation, but reclamation of it. And that's,
but it's in dry dock right now?
No, it's a Battle of San Jacinto.
I know, I'm just giving you trouble. That being said, in case anyone is missing the USS Texas updates, Drake Hinefeld just put out a video like yesterday about when he went to see Texas in dry dock when he was in the States.
Oh, he went to the did a dry dock tour. That's cool.
It's a 40-minute video, but it's really good.
I would love to go and do a dry dock tour on USS. Being able to go up and actually touch the hull, that's normally underwater, that would just be lights out. Fucking tits.
I think they're marketing that as organic Viagra now, like generic, holistic medicine.
That could definitely fix a lot of men's problems. Just saying, because
Jeff, let's go.
I just thinking about it, and I just snapped my keyboard tray in half.
Just punching
Dude,
a
I'm
hole
telling you,
clean through the bottom
you-
of his table.
If you came out here and like you spent, let's say, 8 hours a day for an entire month with me every day, 8 hours a day, and we don't go to any battlefields, right? And then we go to Gettysburg. It's like once I get there and I'm on the field, I'm like a whole nother person. I don't know all the details that all the tour guides and a lot of the history. I don't know that stuff. But there's one thing for sure that Jeff can do is without a map, I can take you around that battlefield and I can give instruction on all the key things that happened in the fights. Just may not be able to give you the specific details like this regiment lost, 27 men right here in this field. I won't be able to give you that stuff. But I mean, I can walk up and down Seminary Ridge and I can tell you the order of brigade and regiment or brigade alignments for the Confederacy up and down Seminary Ridge. I know that stuff. Just don't know all the little details.
I gotta step away for a second. I'll be right back, guys.
Mike, that's too many. It's too many big words and sentences for me right there.
What Heinlein is espousing more libertarian philosophy than fascist?
Yeah, I got lost after Heinlein as.
Yeah. Those are. I have been to. I have visited out in Fredericksburg, Texas. There's an old cavalry fort.
Outpost.
Yeah. It didn't have fencing or anything like that. It didn't have any palisades, so to speak. Right. It was just, the buildings, which would have been accurate for the time. I mean,
Custer's place before when he started his march off into the big whatever.
Little Bighorn.
Yeah. That place didn't have any, there was no walls around that.
Yeah, no. It's the cavalry outposts, U.S. Army outposts along the frontier of the 18. I think this is the 1880s, 1890s. They didn't have the classic palisades that you think about when you think about army forts back in the 1800s or early 1800s. They just cracker box buildings out in the middle of no damn where.
Right.
Charles says he's been to the Yuma Territorial Prison.
When you get out, Chuck?
Yeah, I was about to say, do you still have your number board?
Wait a minute, you weren't there with Kristen Bale, were you? Oh no, that was my bad.
What was that? 310 to Yuma?
Yeah.
I have not seen either of
It's a good movie with Christian Bale in it.
No. But it's just I think that if you come about having if you've got a ream of coloring sheets here.
Yeah. Thank you.
They better all be Star Wars.
They are.
Okay.
It's for the May.
Yeah, May the 4th tomorrow.
With you.
Yes.
Waiting.
Jeffy says hi.
Hi, Jeffy.
So, I think gaming and history. Go ahead.
Here's one thing for sure: is of all the ventures that we partake in when it comes to gaming, going out to a battlefield will cost you nothing but a couple dollars of gas in your car and maybe some food to eat.
Yeah.
And you probably I really got this strong feeling that doing it, you will also find you're another whole person.
Could be.
Yeah. I can't go out there and say that, like when I go to Gettysburg, I'm not one of these guys that says, oh man, I can picture myself standing in this battle line because I can't do that. And
Yeah.
I try to imagine I mean, who can? We can't do it. Go to a shopping mall at Christmas time, maybe you can picture it, but I can't fathom, 3,800 guys stretched out across the front, flags flying everywhere, and trying to stay in order, marching and shooting and whatnot, and then charge. We can't. None of us can picture that today. We might have our own little visions of it, but there's something about going and standing on a battlefield where you're like, maybe you get a slight image of it, or maybe somebody did a charcoal sketch that you can look at and see.
Right. Yeah.
What's really cool is the diorama painting in Gettysburg, a Pickett's Charge. That is phenomenal because you're standing in the middle at a point at the high water mark, and you're looking around 360 degrees at this painting where you could almost you can feel like you're there if they apply the effects to it.
Sorry, I was dealing with.
Sorry, guys.
Donna that's a single one.
Dealing with stuff for work.
Yep. Yeah, she's getting coloring pages for work.
Thank you.
Wish I could color at work.
I know, right?
Hey, my job's fun. I did a lot of recess today.
Yeah, she was able to play tag at recess today.
Damn. We shoot the little Nerf guns at each other sometimes.
Oh, nice.
I got one of those multi-loaders. Has 4 rounds in it.
Oh, cool.
The girls bought me for Christmas, so
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a couple months, but it's there somewhere.
Yeah, Steve, we know you color for your work also, but you don't have recess.
Yep, you gotta get yourself out there on the grounds. I think it's I haven't been in a while. I was down in God. Did I even get to Gettysburg last year? Yeah, I did. I went I went up and looked around at the first day's fight. But you just, I mean, it's just here's what I ask myself, because I think about Manassas Bull Run and how it has slowly dwindled over the years to build to urban development.
Yeah.
And fortunately, places like Gettysburg, you don't have to worry about it, but you still got to wonder, how long in time is this going to stand here and be here before some freaking far out group decides, nope, you got to tear all that stuff down. I mean, we've already seen it happen over the last 5 or 6 years, anyhow. So
Right.
So find what you like and go see it.
So, you see, until I just looked, I had no idea where Shiloh was even located. It's in Southwest Tennessee, north of Mississippi.
I lived in Tennessee and never went there. I never went to Chickamauga. I went through Chattanooga. I drove by it to go play in a softball tournament.
Yeah.
So foggy you couldn't see nothing anyhow.
Oh, I just
never went to Franklin. Never went to Spring Hill. Spring Hill, which is where Nissan has multiple factories.
Yeah.
All that time I was in Tennessee. I think that 1 year period of my life, though, was just coming out of the service, and I wasn't really into doing anything then. And I'm glad. I think that's the one thing I'm glad about coming back up to this area was because of that, my love for the Civil War and that being able to just drive within 2 hours and see so many different things.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's like I said, Missouri, at least the 2 schools that I went to,
I agree with Scala. I agree with him. I had to leave there. The state was too fucking slow for me, man. I had to get out.
Oh, yeah, that's the way it is with me in Oklahoma. Oh, good Lord, Mike. That just no, just if I didn't need the viewers, I'd ban you. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's a joke. Um, I was gonna say something. Now I forgot. Damn it. Um, oh yeah, that's what it was. Missouri. At least the two school districts that I was in the Kansas City area, Raytown School District and Lee Summit School District, both uh, did not do a good job of enlightening the students about the prominence of goings on during the Civil War.
Right. Missouri was, you think about it, Missouri was, dude, that had to be one of the most confused and active states during the American Civil War.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Because the southern end of the state was very, very pro-union.
Right.
The middle of the middle and the north state of the state, it was pro-Confederacy, and it had people, that doesn't make sense. Oh, it does when you look at the geography, and that's something else that. Being a geographer, I can look at the geophysical outlay of land and explain to you how or why history happened the way it did in that area. And it's simple. If you look, the southern portion of the state is in the Ozark Mountains. There's not a whole lot of farming going on there.
Right.
All the farming is right at and north of the Missouri River,
And thus slavery.
and thus slavery, and that's why you're pro you're pro Confederacy to the north and pro Union to the south, and it all has to do with how far down. What's funny is that was determined literally 100,000 years ago with the last ice age. Because that's the Missouri River is the southern border of the glacier.
Sure.
So,
Well, it's like the Shenandoah Valley. If you look at like the one of the three battles around Winchester, you don't really get the picture of what the Shenandoah Valley meant. But then when you zoom out and you look at the valley from top to bottom, it's like a 5-year-old could understand it.
right, exactly. So hold on one brief second. Talk amongst yourselves, guys. I gotta go check on something real quick. I'll be right back.
Sweet. So all right. Just San Diego to Gettysburg, 40 hours, no bathroom breaks. Oh, forget it, Chuck. Is that on an airplane or driving? I'm telling you, you got it. Okay, so what do we got? A dozen people here looking. Raise your hand if you've been to Gettysburg. Because, I mean, Jay, I know you have. I would venture to say. You can't, somebody asked me, well, people ask me all the time, well, just when it happens is where, my ultimate vacation destination is Gettysburg. That's where I go. I go to Gettysburg. Had some friends. My ex-wife had some friends, a lady she worked with, her and her husband, they had a lifetime membership at one of the campgrounds up there where they would take their fifth wheel or their trailer, mobile home or trailer home, whatever. And then they had cabins and they would get the cabins. And me and my grandkids and my ex-wife, we would go there and we'd stay in the cabin and spend, we'd spend the whole week up there. And it was like its own little town within a town outside on the edge of Gettysburg, swimming pool, movie night out in the little park area and stuff like that. And the cabins were just awesome. And then we'd spend all day and sometimes into the evening out on the battlefield, just roaming around and walking down trails that you don't get down a lot. Oh yeah. The Pennsylvania Monument that one at Gettysburg, that thing's massive. And it's got every name.
All right, I'm back.
Inscribed in that marble or whatever that thing is. That thing is massive. And then you can go up on the top of it, and you can just look all out over the battlefield from there. I mean, I'm sorry, that's just one of those places in history in the United States that if you haven't been there, Grant, I know if you live far away and you can't get there, I get it. But if you have not been there, you're missing out bad. I never minded Winchester, but I ended up in Front Royal in the mid-'90s for 3 months. Hillbilly, hey, I live like 10 minutes from there. Stop it.
All right, I'm back. No, I don't have the trots, but I do have a bladder that is now the size of a teacup, apparently. Let's see.
Wait till you're 60.
That's only 7. That's only 7 years away, man.
Nothing worse than you get. Your routine is to get out of bed on work days at 6:30, and then you wake up to pee at like 5:50, and then you go back and lay down and. Yeah, Jay's right. Cyclorama, it's worth the price. And they have increased, like at the old visitor center, you could go into the museum, it didn't cost you anything. The light show thingy, the light map they used to do, you might pay $2 to go see that. But now with being in the new visitor center, it's the last time I was up there, I think it was $8 or $12 to go into the museum part of it. Bookstore was free though. But he's right. The cyclorama is worth every penny to go in there and see that. That to stand in the middle of that massive painting and just look around and seeing all the action that's going on. And then the artist painted himself into it leaning against a tree. I saw there's some documentaries out there that the guys Steve Sims, he's the superintendent of Gettysburg, I think. Him and Addressing Gettysburg, they did a walkthrough around Little Round Top and the 20th Main area and some of the new trails and stuff and some of the modifications they're making there. And they've been finding, as they've been sort of excavating around Little Round Top, they're finding where the Union troops had actually dug in and built up walls. And as they're finding this stuff, they're like, well, shit, we need to open this up. Show everybody what it really looked like on July 2nd, And it's because I know I can see Little Round Top in my head. It's rocky, but you don't see necessarily deep defined positions like it probably was during July 2nd. And now they're starting to uncover that stuff. Yep, can't go wrong with Gettysburg.
Yeah. So Shiloh is about a 7-hour drive.
How far of a drive was it to me? 12 hours?
About 12, 13, yeah. Something like that.
So 7 hours to Shiloh or a dozen hours to here and then spend freaking 2 days at Gettysburg.
Let's see. Let me double check. Yeah, 12 and a half hours. It's almost exactly 800 miles from the center of Pleasant Hill to the center of Falling Waters.
Look at Jay's statement he just made, the last text. The best
General
restaurant in the world. Best restaurant in the world, in the basement underneath of a museum, sort of, to speak, a theater museum thingy. Just a small buffet that you wouldn't think much of, but it is the best place to eat. It was closed last time I went up there. They were doing some remodeling. Love that place, right? And it was literally across the street from the old visitor center. But it's like it's the first building when you come down Von Steinwehr Avenue from like the Emmitsburg, Tommytown direction. It's the first building on the left in the city limits of Gettysburg. Right, and then the sunken road is like right below that thing, which I've never even begun to look to see if it was actually sunken or not. Not like the Antietam one. You know, it's funny because I live 15 minutes from Antietam, an hour from Gettysburg, and I go to Gettysburg a lot. I don't go to Antietam, which is odd.
No, I need to get out and do more history traveling, definitely. And you're right, Donna absolutely would go out and do this stuff with me because she digs it, you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she strikes me as the type that would enjoy it. So, I mean, she can play a war game with you in the kitchen, a tabletop game.
Yeah.
Her
Yeah.
going to the historical site's a no-brainer.
Yeah. So, Charles says I'll put the Barona Indian Casino buffet up against any buffet.
I thought that said banana.
Yikes. So
I tell you, and another thing about Gettysburg too is you got a lot of spots around the battlefield where they just have picnic tables. You know, just right on the battlefield. Just stop. Back where Longstreet's monument is, so there is one monument on the battlefield that I wish they would take it down and rebuild something better. That's this little statue they did of Longstreet. It's terrible. It's hideous because they did it at a shrunken scale. And it's literally ground level. You can walk up to it and hug him if you want.
yeah.
But I think it is a terrible monument. I wish they would get rid of that. And if you're going to do it, go ahead and build one that's more efficient or looks better, like the rest of the ones that are there. And it's probably one of the newer monuments out there, I would say, because I don't remember being there a long time ago. It's got him on his horse with his horse rearing, but it's like tiny. My favorite monument is Buford's and then the Virginia Monument. You got Buford and Reynolds up on McPherson Ridge within probably 20 yards of each other. One of them's on foot and one of them's on a horse.
So, and it's because it's just lack of knowledge on my part, but there was not much night fighting back in those days, was there?
No, usually if it was, it would be carryover during a daytime fight or, early morning attacks. That wasn't, I mean, God, read some of the horror stories about in the wilderness when nighttime fell. And God, dude, can you imagine fucking 15,000 guys hammering each other and the casualties that are laying in the middle of the battlefield in the middle of the night, the screaming and the yelling and the crying out? Man, I can't. I think about the combat environments I've been in where it was just maybe one or two people were wounded and hollering out.
Oh yeah, when you got literally hundreds, if not thousands, out there.
Not only that, but how the hell are you supposed to see who's who? It's hard enough on a Civil War battlefield.
Yeah, but Jay's right about Jackson. He got himself into and it cost him too, and it cost the South.
Should have been wearing his PPE. If he had a reflective belt on, it wouldn't have happened, Jeff.
If he'd been wearing his construction vest.
Yeah.
I learned something today watching a documentary that I did. So my ex-wife and I, a long time ago, we drove Jackson's March. They've now paved that. I mean, that thing was backwoods clay gravel driving, and I did it in a Mercury Tracer, little ass car. Now they've paved all that stuff.
Oh, there you go. Manny Mike says high potential for friendly fire and all that smoke. Yeah, I guess that's why you still lined up.
Fun fact: that's why the British wore bright ass red uniforms. That's why throughout most of the Black Powder area, you have bright, obnoxiously colored uniforms.
Are you hit? I can't tell. My uniform's red.
No, it's that. Oh shit! Those guys are red. We probably shouldn't shoot at them. Oh, those guys
Right.
are blue. Let's jack them up.
Yeah.
I think the Green Mountain Boys had it right.
Which seems silly, but guess what? It worked.
Sure enough. What was it? The Prussians that wore white?
Really dark blue, black.
Austrians wore white.
Oh, Austrians wore white. That's right. Yeah.
During the French and Indian War, the frogs. During that period, the frogs wore a lot of white too, which is kind of weird.
Wore white too during the Napoleonic Wars.
Who?
The Swedish.
Yeah, Scala Gremlins people. Right?
Yeah. Who do you mean, you people?
No, I didn't say you people. I said Scala Gremlins people. We were just talking about it.
Prussians
We
wore
lived
like
in the
a
same house in Sweden for 362
Prussians wore like
years.
a dark blue, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dark blue, black. Yeah.
Hence the paint color Prussian blue.
Well, I like when I play the first Bull Run game, Red Badge of Courage from GBACW, how you have rules in there. You have certain units that the color of the counter is blued or grayed on depending on which side, because at the first Bull Run you had some units on the Union side that were wearing gray uniforms, and you had some on the Confederate wearing blue. Like most of Jackson's a lot of Jackson's command was wearing blue uniforms, and they have a rule in there for, if you pop out of a wood line in this regiment or something like that, and there's friendlies around, you got to roll to see if they're going to get fired on by their own people.
Yeah, what was the fucking formation as Confederate formation? They used the formation name at the time of a legion that identified themselves as Union troops and then opened up on
The
some of the
Palmetto,
McDonald's guys.
you had the Palmetto Legion,
No,
and you had what's his name? It was named after one of their commanders.
I don't
Hampton.
know. I'd have to look it up. Again, that's real early in the war. You get all kinds of weird formation names and whatnot.
Right. Well, a lot of the people from Virginia, the VMI area, and stuff like that,
Huh?
a lot of them were still wearing blue uniforms.
Hell, there were some units that went into battle carrying Springfield flintlocks and practically wearing, not full Revolutionary War uniforms, but tricorns and turncoats.
Yeah. I saw a painting somebody the other day with that.
Yeah, Don Troiani, I think, has been doing a bunch of those recently.
He did some good art.
But I've seen some period stuff also with those uniforms shown.
What are you
Yeah.
doing there, Andrew? You still
What's
putting
up?
together rabbit houses?
What's up?
Are you still putting together rabbit houses?
No, I had to make some food, but you guys always give me trouble when I'm cooking and you guys can hear it, so I had to mute it.
I heated me
Yeah.
some Chinese in a cup tonight.
There you go.
Some ramen?
No, my groceries came tonight. I had some Chinese chicken fried rice in a cup. It was pretty good too. I'm glad I found them. A little expensive though.
Outstanding. Yeah, but it's fancy. You can treat yourself.
Yeah, I love
Treat
it.
yourself.
It seems like the fucking price goes up. I buy groceries twice a month, and it seems like the price gets more and more every time. So
Yeah, that's how
unfortunately,
inflation works.
unfortunately for them, the delivery tip gets reduced by me every time. I'm not paying somebody $30 to drive 1/10 of a mile from Walmart to my house to drop groceries in a mess in front of my door.
It's fair.
You know how you resolve that problem.
Go to the store yourself.
Yeah,
Right.
drive.
Yeah, that shit ain't
1/10
happening.
of a
Yeah,
mile.
okay, so my $200 grocery bill every 2 weeks, if I went to Walmart, that bill would turn into $350 every 2 weeks.
Well, yeah, because you're there and you're buying stuff that you don't need. Because,
You
oh,
could
that doesn't need to
exercise
happen.
a small amount of restraint. Not a lot.
Oh, that would be so cool, Jay. I used to do. now when I was at Drum, they called them spur rides. Do they still call them spur rides at all, or is that just reserved for cavalry units anymore?
Probably just cavalry units.
Oh man, I just saw Charles. I'll put the Verona Indian Casino Buffet up against City Buffet. There's a couple titty bars over on the east side of the river over here in St. Louis, Charles, that have free breakfast buffets. It's pretty awesome.
Wait a minute. I want to know what freaking Scala, what the hell were you doing in Front Royal for 3 months?
What, titty bars?
You don't want to go to them titty bars. It'd be like a fucking Deliverance version of titty bars.
That's why he called it a hillbilly hellhole.
Oh, you were near the college? Come on, Scala. Fess up, buddy.
It's all about
That's
C-section
a cat
stars.
thing.
Yeah. All right, Mike. That's just altogether too
Okay.
fancy.
Is that your fancy terminology for what a Big Mac is?
What the hell is a Hungarian strawberry leaf pasta?
It sounds like something Todd would eat.
Do you not watch Mike's food pantry videos he does?
No.
Jalapeno apple drizzle. Have you lost your damn mind?
Yeah. Mike, your food taste seems a whole lot more in line with Todd's than ours. I'm eating a pork steak right now.
Oh, I bought some. Now I went out on the limb a little bit here. This one, every now and then when I get groceries, I'll add like 3 or 4 like off the wall things. So I did the microwave pulled pork cups that they have. Make me some pulled pork sandwiches. I have to order my cinnamon toast crunch, so I'm really disappointed.
What are you going to eat before bed every night?
Usually that's what I eat is
I know, that's my point. What are you going to eat before bed every
Well,
night?
I did get some crackers this time, so.
Cannibalism.
Right?
Lunch, microwave chicken and mashed taters. You're talking my freaking Marie Callender or Boston Market meals that I take to work. Chicken and mashed taters, or Salisbury steak, macaroni and cheese, or the backyard barbecue from Banquet. Scala must have left because he ain't answering me. I want to know about why he was in Front Royal.
He was there hanging out with you, but you didn't know it.
Well, I'm trying to. When did he say he was there?
In the mid-90s?
Well, I was up here in 95 or 93. I moved up here, so yeah.
So, Jeff,
Huh?
what was it like watching Stonewall Jackson march through backyard?
Well, I tell you, if I'd have had a horse, I'd have rode with him.
Oh, look at that. Skylar replied.
I used to work for the Hilton Hotels, and since I flew everywhere, I could pretty much live anywhere. Front Royal was cheap, agreed. Turns out it wasn't cheap enough to justify it. Most people were nice, but damn. Yeah, it's not. I go there once in a while in that area to play golf, but I don't venture down, and I need to because goddamn, I tell you, man, you jump out of here. Literally, the interstate from my apartment front door, the interstate is 200 yards out my front door here, 81, and 81 goes straight down the valley. The number of Civil War sites that are just down that way within 2 hours are. I mean, I would love if I had the time, but I wouldn't do it by myself. I'd have somebody with me to just go down there and trek the path that Jackson and the Union armies, the 3 different Union armies that he was dealing with in the valley in 62, and then turn around, and it'd probably be easier for me to do Ewell's work in 1864. When he came back up in here, or even 1863, because I'm always cracked up about that too, because Ewell was from the time they started the movement after Chancellorsville to go into Gettysburg in Pennsylvania, Ewell was a tactical fucking wizard. dealing with the Union forces in the Shenandoah Valley. And then Early did it again in 64. Just wasn't enough there in 64 for Early to finish the job. But I it always amazed me. And then to go, and I'm never going to say that Ewell was an idiot at Gettysburg, but I mean, he didn't have all his faculties about him then.
Wasn't he like obnoxiously sick at that point, or am I thinking somebody else?
Remember, he had a leg gone. His wife and her son, who he was on his staff, and apparently his wife was very forceful. But I mean, you think of all in 1862, all the work. I mean, you think of like when you say Butch Cassidy, you say Sundance Kid, right? Well, in 1862 in the Valley, you say Stonewall Jackson, you say Dick Ewell. He was the other force that Jackson, who was in command of, would have maneuver on its own accord. And they were quite successful. A sandwich, salami, and pepperoni.
Sounds awesome, Chuck.
It does sound awesome. Of course, that's a gut bomb waiting to happen late at night for me.
No, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, Scott, the people in the Valley there's some nice folks in the Valley. They really are. And it's funny, too, because right here in Berkeley County where I live, I mean, we're right, Interstate 81 runs right through the middle of us, and we're the fastest growing county in West Virginia. But even right here in our county, we have roads to the west towards the mountains, the hills, where we're even afraid to go up to do address assignments on.
No
doubt.
Drive faster. I hear banjos.
Yikes.
You are real pretty though, Jeff, so you can't really blame people.
Yeah, I got the right missing teeth.
Good Lord.
Yeah, but you can tell I'm not a true West Virginian because I got replacements.
Yeah. Got some stand-ins.
I got some guys that I play golf with that are just, funny everyday guys that just their teeth aren't like shit. But they can't really afford to do anything about it, so.
You got to quit winning all the money at golf.
Yeah, I haven't won none yet this year.
Yeah, you only played like 2 days.
Yeah, I know. Last shit, I played last week and didn't play at all because of the rain. This weekend's going to be nice, though.
I'm about to say it's beautiful here today, so hopefully it's
headed our way finally.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's supposed to be nice.
Yeah, we're going to have thunderstorms this weekend.
Which means we'll be good. And then on Monday or Tuesday, we'll get your all storm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we didn't exactly go down the road we wanted to go tonight, but we did get a few things out there.
Oh, no, I think we did actually.
We certainly covered, especially Chris's family connection to stuff. I mean, Jeff, the issue is your family tree is more like an ivy patch. It keeps coming back and connecting, that West Virginia thing.
Jeff Anderson. Okay, so I actually watched something today about Ewell, and it was yesterday I was watching it, and these are some reputable people that in the field of American Civil War, and especially Gettysburg. And I've never been one of those ones that said Ewell fucked up on July 1st. I don't necessarily think he did at the end of the day. I think they always said Lee was never demanding of his officers when he gave instructions or when he issued orders. His orders, I mean, kind of like the German army during World War II. Hey, here's what I want you to accomplish. You figure out how to do it. And Lee was a very, very modest individual. And so I really don't think that, Ewell was given. I mean, Lee didn't say, Ewell, take it or your ass is gone. He didn't do it. He told Ewell, you evaluate if you can do it, and you do it. And I think that word, the if practicable thing, comes into play there. And I think Ewell evaluated what he had to his left, the help that he was not going to get from others to go do it, and not completely knowing what was going on that hill at the time. I don't know. Maybe if it was 2 hours earlier in the day, or maybe if they had just not stopped the push. I mean, the town of Gettysburg itself fucked them up completely anyhow. So trying to maneuver through that and then get to there. But should he have taken it? Yeah, he probably should have, because I think Gettysburg ends after day one, and the next place they fight is on was it Pipestem Creek or Pipe Creek or whatever, Little Pipe Creek, which was Meade's original plan. So
I'm not sure if I'd call Meade or Lee modest, but that's just me. I don't
know. Maybe that wasn't the right word.
I'm about to say,
He wasn't. Yeah. Well, Jay says it non-confrontational.
non-specific. I mean,
Jay
the dude
says,
liked to kill people. Like he lived to destroy the Federal Army in the field. Like that's, and he was half decent at it. The issue is that wasn't. Yeah.
See, this is where I get lost with me and Andrew, where I get lost because I can't, because like I talk about, I don't care about like seeing the reenactments and stuff like that. I care about what I want to study and learn is the details of the battles, not even necessarily the campaigns. So when I think about when we talk about Lee, the traitor thing, the reason why I think I don't even have that discussion because I don't even look at that level of what
do you mean by the traitor thing?
I'd look at the actual battle and what these guys, where they were smart and where they were bad in their strategy or their tactics.
You lost me there, but that's okay.
Jay states Lee was great at issuing ambiguous, mealy-mouthed, indirect, non-confrontational orders.
Yeah, he wasn't shoving orders down his commanders' throats. Here's your objective.
I mean, at some points, until he's certainly still on occasion, not as bad as like you can point at, Ambrose Burnside and stuff where it's like, all right, hey, look, man, you're the Army commander. Quit getting this division across this bridge. Like, go fucking pay attention to what's actually going on. Lee certainly had his moments of micromanagement as well. Where you show up and then all of a sudden it's, no, you're doing this wrong. Like, figure your shit out, which to a certain extent, like, and again, it's different because now, you get on a phone and somebody can say, hey, asshole, what are you doing? When you have to either ride up to somebody and tell them, hey, dickhead, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I would imagine it's a whole lot harder to not be semi-micromanaging. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, take Pickett, for example. Once, after Lee was, pretty much trying to swallow the blame for Gettysburg on that final day, that it was his boo-boo. All right. And I won't argue that. I to an extent, I agree with that 100%. But as the rest of the war went on, I mean, you hear the stories about there were certain generals when Lee took command that he said, nope, goodbye, you're going out west. And then there's a big pocket in between there where he's got what he wants to work with. And then it happens again, but he didn't do the same thing again. But Lee literally despised Pickett for 64 and 65. He thought Pickett was just completely useless. But he didn't send his ass packing.
Pickett was one of those generals of personality, though, where there's probably a decent chance that if you sent Pickett packing, you were going to have to send a good chunk of men packing, too, and Lee was not willing to give up.
Well, and Pickett had the best fish fries.
There you go. And facial hair, almost, but yeah.
And he wore perfume.
He did definitely wear perfume, which is a weird one, but yeah.
I keep asking myself, why is Pickett's Buffet called Pickett's Buffet? Why wasn't it called Hancock's Buffet or
Because who's going to eat at Hancock's buffet? Come on.
Mead's Buffet?
I'd eat at Mead's buffet. You know whose buffet I'd eat at?
Huh?
Irving McDowell.
No, you'd eat at Dangerous Dan's Deli.
I would eat at Dangerous Dan's Deli. My point is that Irving McDowell's buffet would always be fully stocked and always be hot because that man was a logistician and could get supply where it needed to go.
Trainer elite, organizer elite.
Yeah.
There was I was listening to something today about Sickles, and actually Sickles was doing he was getting ready to do a great job at fucking Chancellorsville when that all got ass screwed.
Again, and I feel like you got to feel bad for Irving McDowell. I don't remember where I was reading, but like, old boy told Lincoln, like, dude, this is a bad idea, man.
Yeah. Well, and then McClellan said, "No, I'm going to fuck you in the ass and not help you." So, hey.
Well,
or am I talking about Pope?
Pope, but
Pope was second Bull Run, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
McDowell's first Bull Run.
Like, fuck you.
Then again, that was kind of your boy Lee and Pickett was, fuck you, go across the field, idiot. But
well, the bad part about that is you go back to Ewell. That was supposed to be what they call it the hammer and anvil type thing. Ewell started when he was supposed to start.
there was no anvil at Pickett's charge.
Ewell was supposed to push the back end at Culp's Hill in the morning when Lee wanted Longstreet to execute that.
How?
And it didn't happen.
How?
Ewell at Culp's Hill, the Second Corps.
I understand that, but again, my question is how all of the Confederate logistics went into pouring artillery support into Pickett's charge, and then somehow Ewell is supposed to just like jump on his fucking magic carpet and fly up a fortified hill and take it.
But and that was that. I mean, because Johnson's division was not completely shot up. One brigade was shot up pretty good.
I mean, I understand that, and I understand that Culp's Hill was
that was supposed to be
sparsely defended, but
well, yeah, but it was one of those things to you potentially are trying to make your opponent shift troops.
I understand that. The issue is the Confederacy wasn't in a position to force movement. Like, Napoleon had problems doing that to Wellington when they both had two parallel lines. Like, just the idea that, hey, we're going to make these guys shift troops and then we're going to attack with strength somewhere else at Gettysburg is a complete non-starter for the Confederates, because no, anywhere that you have an attack, the Union can get troops to quicker than you can. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, we knew that. We knew that all along. Well, personally, I think
that's my point, though.
Cemetery Ridge was it wasn't as densely populated at the start of July 3rd. Anyhow, I mean, everybody was. They still had the 6th Corps hovering around that they could have put anywhere at any time.
Yeah,
but
that's not as big as the Confederate Corps at Gettysburg, but it's still more than enough that.
Yeah, and it was
got a section line that's getting pushed.
Yeah.
A Union Corps was still more than enough to swing that drastically against whatever Confederate Corps decided to,
Well, that was the whole premise is with Ewell striking at Culp's Hill, whether it was diversionary or not, was to sort of keep Meade from shifting any reserve that he had immediately to the main thrust on Cemetery Ridge.
But that's the point, though, is that everybody was sitting on Cemetery Ridge anyways.
Because it never happened.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't happen at the same time. So.
My point is there's not a worry. My contention would be that Ewell wouldn't be able to mount an attack powerful enough against Culp's Hill to cause Meade to crap his pants and put every piece of reserve that he's got into Culp's Hill. That's my point.
Did you see the pictures Toddy sent?
No, what Toddy said. Wait a minute. No. I'm winning an argument, so you're distracting
No,
me.
you're not winning an argument because I am the tactical genius of Hex Encounter, whereas you are a miniature whiz kid. And I live it. I was there.
That's fair. You did go there on your
said
class
it earlier. I was there.
but yes, Jay, Chris has all those 10 millimeter ACW also. I got a bunch of 2 mil. I got a bunch of 10 mil. We can play fucking anything, Jay. One thing that I actually did when John at Joy Wargaming was running his not Civil War mini campaign was I actually adapted Little Wars TV's Live Free or Die to Civil War, and it worked really, really well. It was simple to play. I had a good time. You still had that feeling to it. That was pretty outstanding. So, Chris, I see you guys are talking about that.
Yep.
I'd highly recommend that. It depends on if you've got your 6 mil ACW. If that's based
cool.
in big bases, then that might be, problematic. But if it's based up, well, I know a lot of people there for a long time were basing their 6 mil stuff in a relatively Fire and Fury sort of convention just to get more figures on bases and get that big battle feel to it.
It's like 20 by 40, something like that.
No. So again, traditionally, Fire and Fury is on 1 inch by 3/4 inch bases for infantry, which can either hold 3 or 4 15 mil guys, depending on if you're using like true 15s or up to like heroic 18s, or a strip or two of 6 mil guys. So I don't know how Jay's got your all's figures based, but yeah. Or were you saying they're on 20 by 40 bases?
No, I was doing my best to remember what Fire and Fury was based at.
Yeah, so it's a series of 1 inch by 3/4 inch bases.
Okay.
So like 25 by 20 millimeter.
Okay.
And then you have anywhere from 6 to 12 in each maneuver element, whether that's brigade or regiment, depending on which style of the rules you're playing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Either one, Jay. Honestly, the rules are really similar. The big determination is some of the overarching gameplay and then scenarios. That being said, if Chris doesn't want to play 6 mil ACW with you, Jay, I'll play. I got plenty of terrain and stuff too.
No, I'll play it.
I just got to go beat Todd up to get my 6 mil terrain back. I'm going to say, Mike, that does remind me. That is the one drawback of Fire and Fury is there are a lot. I'm not a guy that just looks at a game with a lot of tables and says, I don't like this because there's tables. It can take a second. It certainly works really well with a bunch of people playing on either side.
Yeah, like I said, it was a lot of fun when we did it. I think we had 8 or 10 guys playing there in Austin.
Yeah, and that's cool because there's not every game can do that. But Fire and Fury does a good job of it. But yeah, I did like Live Free or Die. I basically just used cavalry and infantry and then messed with the ratings on them, obviously artillery as well, I'm sorry. But instead of using all the different classes of cavalry, and Jeffy, you can correct me if I'm wrong, obviously you've got, Gaines Mill and stuff, but for the most part in the Civil War, cavalry fought as dragoons, right? Mounted infantry sort of things. Again, you can find swirling cavalry melee, but they're hard to find. So on a tabletop, you can either decide you're going to fight those sort of engagements or you're going to have them fighting as mounted infantry, which still works really well.
Did you look at the picture Todd sent?
No, I didn't.
He must have just sent it to you guys.
Well, yeah, it's the box I sent him for him in McMurray. That's why.
Oh, well, I do need to drive to Todd's house. I wonder if he's listening or if I'm just going to roll up to Todd's house and surprise him.
No, he's too elite for us now.
I know
Yeah.
he is.
Well, he's at a book signing or some such shit.
Yeah, he said he's doing something
Yeah.
frilly dilly tonight.
So,
No matter. It's 11 o'clock anyhow. So
yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and we're going to wrap it up. Yeah, I know we didn't go too far afield on the topic, but I knew if I started, if it was just me or I wouldn't have been able to have as long of a show as if I didn't have you, Jeff, and McMurray here, because y'all know what I know about the Civil War can be probably kept in a shot glass. And I know some people are probably surprised I did not talk about Star Wars being,
We
the day
touched
that
on
it
it.
is. Yeah, but not anything like what we could have. But I wanted to get this out, especially being that it's fresh in the mind of from what Jay had found. So I think that's interesting.
I'm about to say, you got us on the Civil War, and we danced around Civil War for quite a while. Like, we did a good job.
Yeah. So, but guys, I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. Of course, my brother Jay, Mike, Charles, Jeff Anderson, Reese early on, Scala Gremlin. Excuse me. Steve was here for a little bit. Warmup was with us for a little while. So Tim D was there. So thanks, guys. We'll not have a show this Saturday. Like I said, I'm going to be spending time with the grandson for his birthday party, and maybe getting a game of tank versus tank with my son. We'll see what happens there. And then next week, who knows what we'll talk about? Maybe we'll talk about Star Wars next week. It's a Civil War. I know plenty about that Civil War.
Hell yeah.
All right, guys. Until
Yeah,
next
Polly.
time. Yep. Telemachus was here with us tonight as well. So, all right, guys. I want to thank everybody once again. And until next time, we will see you on the flip side.